So tell me, when's the last time you checked your bank account? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. On this channel, I go by Eternal Honesty. If you are new here, please go ahead and like this video and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss when I do post. Today's video is going to be a very real and hopefully helpful video to a lot of people. We are talking about money. And I know we're all trying to get to the bag. Every year we say we're gonna get to the bag, but this year we're really going to do that. And I'm going to give you guys some tips as to how we can make sure we're saving our money and we can live the lifestyle that we want to live. Money is something I feel like a lot of people like to shy away from and not like to discuss with each other, but I think it's very important to discuss money in your friendships, in your relationships. Like if you're dating and you guys are not talking about money, to me that's a red flag. Like you don't need to tell me every single penny you got in your bank account, but I feel like we both should have a general idea of each other's finances versus what are we willing to spend money on versus what we're not willing to spend money on. Let's be for real. Not everyone have the same spending habit. I like to spend money on experiences, on traveling. Not everyone likes to do those things, so they might not see the need to spend hundreds of dollars on a concert. I will gladly spend hundreds of dollars to go see my favorite artist live and in person. So that's why it is crucial if you are dating someone to discuss finances and to discuss what you like to spend your money on. Preferably, they like to spend their money on me though. I know we all saw or heard about that girl who brought only $200 on a girls trip. And this is not to shame her or anyone who has ever been in that situation, because I personally know people who've done things like that. And one, it puts pressure on the other people on that trip if they know about your situation to kind of help you. And it's unfair to them because those people did actually properly budget to be on this trip. You didn't. And truthfully, I believe if you do not have the funds for a trip, you have no right being there. And this might come off being like mean or rude. I don't know the person's situation. I really don't care. If you really cannot financially afford something, you should not break your back either to go somewhere. I've had to tell my friends no a lot recently to like hang out, doing things, and just literally just tell them, hey guys, I know that I don't really have it like that and I need to start saving because I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to have to leave my job, and I need to have money. I've had to tell them these things in advance, and as a friend, they understand where I'm coming from. This is why it's important to talk to your friends about money and financial situation. Does every single person you know need to know your financial situation? No, but these are your close friends that you're close enough to go on a trip together with. Then you should have no problem discussing finances with them, because planning for a trip means we're discussing how much money for flights, for hotels, what we're planning to do, excursions, just activities, just the overall trip in itself. You should know how much it's probably going to run you. And if you don't have it, your friend should not see anything wrong with you saying, hey, I think I got to sit this one out because I just cannot afford it. And if they don't understand that respectively, those are not your people. Because no true friend is going to want to see you go broke for one trip. None. This year, we need to really focus on our finances and just understanding how to spend our money, when to spend our money, and what to spend our money on. What are the important things that we should be spending our money on? If you cannot afford it, then you should not be getting it. You should not be doing it. let's go ahead and get into the tips, the practical part of the video. First thing you need to do is understand how you spend your money. That means you're tracking how much money you're spending on average, knowing how much money you need to have to pay all of your bills. One of the best ways to do this, I've said it on this channel, I have a whole video on like budgeting, is having an Excel sheet. I know it sounds like a whole Excel sheet. You don't need to even do an Excel sheet. You can do a Word doc. I like Excel because you can use it to calculate things. You can calculate out your income minus your expenses to see how much you'll have left over. That's why I like to use an Excel sheet. You can also use it to tally up your total costs of things. So it's really great as a visual, but if you don't want to do that, you can write it on paper, you can write it on a Word doc, or you can use Excel. But you want to obviously know how much money you're spending on your bills. So write that out and look at how much money you make within a month, right? So if you make $5,000 a month, that's all the money. And this is after they take out taxes and stuff, guys. That's how much money you have to budget from. So you want to make sure you take out all of your expenses first, and then whatever monthly things you do. If you get your hair done every month, if you get your nails done every month, your lashes, like whatever you need on a monthly basis. And even sometime if you don't do it every month, but you do maybe every other month, I will still put a budget for it each month, so it's very clear and easier to track. Another thing that is really important, and I've been like learning more about this lately, is, are you an emotional spender? Do you spend money because you're bored, when you're upset, when you're sad? You know, I do know like retail therapy is a thing for a lot of people, but if that is really negatively impacting your life as a whole, we need to cut back on that. You can't spend money just because you're sad every single time, right? That's the key point, because then you're probably digging yourself in a hole. I will also mention, if you're someone who's paying like credit card debt down, that should be included in your spreadsheet under expenses, because those bills should be paid. You should never not pay your bills, guys, because you want to have fun. That's very irresponsible, and that's only going to lead to more and more debt, and then you're going to wake up one day and wondering, how the heck did I get here? And I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys to have money saved up, money to do whatever you want to do, whatever it is your heart's desire, that you're able to do it. So making sure that all your bills are paid first before you even look at the money. And that's something I really do. I've been having a spreadsheet for years now, and I refer back to it. Recently I've been budgeting a lot because I'm trying to save up money to go to nursing school. I'm figuring out how I can cut expenses, how I can shrink things. And sometimes, even if you have a budget already, it's good to look back at it to see, are there ways that you can even save more money, cut back things, renegotiate deals? Like if you have a gym membership, can you get a cheaper membership? Are you using all the features of the tier of membership you have? Like I recently lowered my gym membership because I had it where I can bring someone with me, and I was bringing my cousin with me, but he stopped coming. So I changed my membership to being a lower one because I don't need that feature anymore, and I don't do all the gym classes. So I really just need the basic minimal membership, which is just like I get to come and use the facility, and I only go to that one location as well. So things like that. So like you can just have it there to help you understand where your money is going, and it's also good to look back and see how you can change things and reallocate your money. A tip and a suggestion, you guys don't have to do this, but I think it's amazing if you do, is having an emergency fund. So you can have an emergency fund. Some people like to have it in cash, so it's on hand. Some people use banking accounts, I personally do prefer a high yield saving account where this money is not easily accessible to you. One. Two, you get interest on this money. This money is accumulating interest and it's growing just by you having it in that account. So I definitely think this is a good option for your emergency fund. If you're just starting out, have at least $1,000 in there for if any surprise expenses ever comes up, you're able to afford it. Most people do not have $1,000 at hand if an emergency do pop up or they need it. So starting off with 1,000 is a great place. If you can put more, even better. The idea for an emergency fund is to be able to have 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So everything that you actually need to survive on a monthly basis, having all your bills paid for in an emergency fund, like 3 to 6 months. So if you can do that now, good. If you can't, it's okay. You can funnel money into it slowly over time. I like to do is having another account or having a section in my budget for fun money. So fun money is exactly as it sounds, like money to spend on fun things, money to spend on the things that I want to do. So whether it is to travel, if I have a vacation coming up, to go out with friends, to go out to eat, to go to the movies, to buy makeup stuff, to get my hair done, like that is the money that I would really be dipping into to pay for those things. If you can do this, highly would recommend, because when it's time to go out, when it's time to plan for a trip, you're not going to be really worried or bothered by like, oh, am I going to have enough to pay my bills, because you're already allocated for these type of things in your budget. Or you just have enough money that you know like that's not an issue at all. But it's so important if you can literally have it in your budget already that it's not a concern, it's not a worry that you will have. Last thing I would say is investing, and investing can be slightly controversial. There are so many different ways that you can go about investing. If you are working and your job offers you like a 401k, an IRA, any type of retirement plan, that technically is an investment, and I would always recommend that you take it, especially if you plan on being at your job for a long period of time. Like this is a job that you see yourself doing for the foreseeable future, even if it's just like 3-4 years. But if you see yourself staying there, I will recommend taking an retirement plan with your company if they offer it to. Read the fine print on these retirement plans, because a lot of them, they offer you an employer's match. So however much you put in, the company, your employer will also match that amount up to a certain like either a dollar amount or percentage. I know a lot of places it's normally around like 3, 4, 6% is the employer's match. If you put 6%, your employer's also putting 6%, and their 6%, you might not get it if you don't stay at that company for a certain period of time. Make sure you understand that as well when you are deciding on this. So that's why I said if you're planning on staying there for a while, it will benefit you, because the longer you stay there, you most likely will be able to walk away with all the money that your employer is also putting in, and you will always get all the money that you put in, no matter how long you're there. You can also invest using a brokerage account like Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, Cash App, PayPal. These are all these different platforms that allow you to open investments account. So if that's something that you want to do, be sure to do your research on it, but I would say it's also a good option. These are all just tips and suggestions. You guys do not have to do them, but if you do plan on taking any of these tips, I would say look more into it and make sure you're educating yourself, because financial literacy is very important. You need to learn how to make your money work for you, instead of us always having to work for our money, because I know we don't always want to work every single day of our life. So our money needs to work for us. So I want to put my money in these stocks, in this investment account, and allow it to grow over time without me doing anything. Don't become really strict with budgeting that you don't enjoy life. Life is worth living at all times, and there's always ways to find things to do that are affordable. You can also find free things to do, especially that the weather is getting warmer. You can plan a lot of outdoorsy things, and I know most cities offer like free events, especially during the spring and summer months. So finding cheap and affordable things to do is definitely something that everyone should be looking into. If you're in the New York City area and you are looking for free things to do, let me know, because I can definitely direct you guys to some resources, or I can even make a whole video about like free things to do in New York. So if you're also interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. But I will also like to mention, like, wealth building is not something that's going to happen overnight. It takes work, it takes time, but the sooner you start, the better off you will be. And I hope you guys decide to start today if you haven't already. And if you are already on your journey, good for you guys. I wish you all the best of luck, and I really hope this video was of value to you guys. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.